I'll do the gun control in 60 seconds or less.
If you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun. Gun violence in this country is an epidemic. Watch out! He's got a gun! He's going to steal your banana!
That's right. Okay, a couple things going on, folks. There's a shooting in Tulsa. Here's the dailymail.co.uk headline. Tulsa hospital shooter upset over botched back surgery, killed 4. Harvard grad surgeon who traveled the world serving underprivileged kids, a veteran who held a door open to help others escape, and a devoted mother of 2. Really weird story that it seems like the news doesn't really know what to do with. There was a man who had a back surgery earlier in May. The back surgery did not go well, and he was still in pain. Then he went back for a follow-up appointment with his surgeon, and something happened in that meeting where he felt he needed to come back the next day and shoot the surgeon and a few other people. And, it's a little tough. The surgeon was a black man. The shooter was a black man. It's kind of all based around... like what? Like, it's not children. It's not, we know why he did it. He felt, I think this is a symptom more than anything of the healthcare system in America, which is like the worst in the world as far as developed countries are considered. And, I don't know. I want to know what happened in that meeting, that follow-up appointment that he had with that doctor that had him so, out of his mind to go shoot up a hospital. So that did happen. Of course, there's really not much to go to. You can't do a racism. You can't do a mental health thing. You can't do a lot except for the fact that he had, of course, just purchased some AR-15 style rifles.
And that's what CBS News was the big point. AR style rifle, not even 15
AR
from CBS News. It was AR style rifle.
There's also some big news. Yeah, there's also some big news coming out of the White House. Biden inviting Congress to revisit the assault rifle ban that was in place from, let's see if I can remember. I think it was 1994. And then it sunsetted in 2004, was not renewed by a Republican Congress. And he made a call to try to get Congress to put that back in place. Assault rifle ban. Some very strong language coming from the White House. Now, of course, he's made...
1994. What'd you say, 96?
No, I said 94 to 2004.
Okay, I think you're right.
It was when the previous assault rifle ban was. Now... he's got we're not going to play the clips today, but there's some silly clips of him talking about how 9mm handguns are considered a large caliber ammunition and how it's supposed to blow up a human body and all this nonsense. He's just doing Biden stuff, really. So we'll see if anything develops on that. We'll keep you posted. There was some more nonsense, twisty, turvy, labyrinthian news coming about the Uvalde shooting. NewYorkPost.com. Uvalde police agencies not cooperating in state's review of school shooting. Remember, the school police chief was got voted in to city council, and since then, he and his department have stopped cooperating with FBI investigations into how the shooting was handled. Now, he claims he's cooperating, but we're getting mixed reports. Uvalde police and the Uvalde school systems police force have stopped cooperating with the state's probe of the agency's response to the Robb Elementary School shooting. ABC News reported Tuesday, citing multiple law enforcement sources. Local law enforcement agencies in the small town have faced immense blowback for their delayed response to the massacre. Skipping down here, Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo, who was incident commander, did not immediately confront the suspect. We know the story. Let me skip down to the not cooperating part. A spokesman for the Texas Department of Public Safety told ABC News that Arredondo gave an initial interview but has not responded to a request for a follow-up interview that was made 2 days ago. Quote, the Uvalde Police Department and Uvalde CISD police have been cooperating with investigators, a spokesperson told ABC News. Quote, the chief of the Uvalde CISD police provided an initial interview but has not responded to a request for a follow-up interview with the Texas Rangers. That was made 2 days ago. Texas DPS has not responded to a request for comment. So among the blowback and the twisty-turvy nonsense of the whole investigation, it sounds like the police are tired of answering questions over there when it comes to their response to the Uvalde shooting. And that's the current situation, Guns. Not a good look. Not a good look for a police chief who is now sitting on the city council.
Yeah. This whole thing, it just seems like another
stinks a little
trail,
bit,
distraction and something for people to latch onto in the, I guess, truth-seeking community at large. Mm-hmm. But at this point, we know the greater agenda, so each one of these things, the details surrounding it are almost irrelevant.
You know, and they're doing a wonderful job of making me tired of caring about it.
That's, I too am tired of caring about it, and I never actually cared too much post the event happening and knowledge of the event happening. Right. But the thing that it does to your psychology in general is, I think, way more of an issue than the policies involved and the details involved. And I'll tell you why. I'm at the school graduation today, as I mentioned earlier. And, I didn't dwell on it, but it did cross my mind of, what would it feel like for some dude to walk in with these, a couple pieces of artillery and just starts going nuts. Like, what would I do? You know what I mean? So it did cross my mind. It was a big room full of people from, a little preschool. So I don't know. I think in reflecting on that moment was the psychology. If I'm having that thought and I've looked at this from 1,000-foot view and, tried to keep a well-balanced view on all this kind of stuff. If I'm having that thought randomly, then I can't imagine what's happening across the country and across the world when it comes to the psychology of the parents and everything else. So
and it goes
that
back
is going
to
to push policy, not the event itself.
Yeah, to the timing of all these shootings, again, now one after the other.
Yeah.
It's really hard to worry about inflation when you are sort of locked in on surviving, like your child is surviving a day at school or going to a grocery store or now going to the doctor. Yeah. There's the collection of venues that these shootings that have been happening recently, pretty much spans anywhere you could be as a human in society. School, grocery store, doctor. I mean, what's next?
There was a church.
There was a church, yeah,
There's always been churches, but a couple churches.
There was a funeral. There was a shooting at a funeral. So it's like, it's a very... If you want to look into who benefits from this, well, who are we not paying attention to because we're so locked in on worrying about our lives, no matter where we are.
The more we talk about this, and this has turned into Gon's therapy show.
Sure.
That is another thing that's been bothering me is how easy this whole takeover is going to be when it comes down to it. The gun confiscation conspiracy has been part of it's been part of a large conversation, and ever since I started studying the New World Order and everything else, that was a big component, was disarmament of the general population, because you need that to have a takeover. But now that the technology surrounding everything, the surveillance apparatus is sufficiently advanced and has become pretty ubiquitously available, things like the Ring doorbell and stuff. I mean, there's just surveillance everywhere. And so ultimately, again, it's always it was always gonna go that way. But it would be very easy for the people behind the curtain to start really highlighting all of this gun violence as a strategic move to take away guns or make it extremely difficult for people to get guns, and thus, sort of beat into submission some of the constitutional things that made this country great. And it's not that, it's a technological thing too. It's not just a gun thing. So
you can boil it down. You boil it down to, hey, why does the Second Amendment exist? Why is it written into the Constitution? Well, it's very explicit, so that a tyrannical government cannot do what the founding fathers had seen done over and over and over. That's, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. It's not like, it's kind of the crazier part of like having that conversation as far as like a regular person in the world is concerned. And like, why do you want guns, man? You're supposed to say like hunting or self-protection, not like so we can stop tyrannical governments.
So if Joe tried to take my property, I got something to show him.
Right. Well, and you look, I'm just laying out the facts really here. Not even facts. I'm just laying out the philosophy. I'm not here to fight for anything except for, that is written in the Constitution, that it's to stop tyrannical governments. And especially, when does the tyrannical governments, make their moves? Well, when the society is collapsing. When is a government most at danger? When they can't uphold their duties to the public. When they can't keep, an economy livable.
Stable.
When they can't, when they get too obsessed with, when they send all the jobs and manufacturing overseas, and so everybody in the homeland
this is left a long time coming for this country.
You just think of the timing. It feels like society is literally on the brink of collapse. And yeah, what a great time to try to take another stab at taking away everybody's guns so they don't, put your heads on spikes and start over.
This is something that I think you and I can really get behind. We need to start the laser gun. Oh gosh. The laser gun revolution.
The laser gun? Yes. What are you talking about?
No, civilian laser guns. How is this not a thing yet? The military has them. Why aren't we developing our own laser weapons?
Cost? Yeah, guns. Look, I know you've had a hard week, man, but we are already on the edge. I do not think we want the intelligence agencies and Susan on YouTube hearing us call for making black market laser guns for the people. It's a joke. It's a joke, everyone. Yeah. No, but that's it. All I'm saying is pointing out the timing. This would be a wonderful time for the elites of this country to disarm the public right before they completely, fail at doing their duty, or at least what their allegedly their duty is as the government.
We need like a force field property shield too. Like nothing can penetrate this like electromagnetic bubble around your property. That's something that I think would help the people at large.
There you go. So let's get to work on that. Come on,
I'm just, I'm trying to think outside the cage, and come up with some solutions because you're
doing a great job.